Hi, this is James Ng with Old Capital, and today I'm here with Paul.Yazbeck to talk about a new deal called the Midtown in Tyler, Texas. Paul, thanks for joining, and maybe to kick it off, give people a little bit of a background on yourself and your firm, and then we'll jump into this new deal.
Great, James. Thanks for having me this morning. Excited to be here. The Multifamily Group, John Krebs and I formed it in 2018 after working for a national brokerage firm for a few years, being some of their top producers nationwide. Since 2018, we've grown it to 16 brokers, headquartered here in Dallas, with brokers also covering Oklahoma, New Mexico, Little Rock, and Georgia. But we're excited to be here today to talk about Midtown Apartments in Tyler, Texas.
All right, let's jump straight into this deal. Paul, we're sitting here in Dallas. Tell people sort of where Tyler is in relation to DFW and sort of what are the main drivers out there in terms of economic drivers.
Okay, great. Yes, Tyler, Texas is about 2 hours east on I-20. And like a lot of secondary and tertiary markets in Texas, just benefiting from Texas overall economic growth. This deal in particular benefits from its proximity to the hospital right down the street, and also UT Health as well. And they're bringing in the medical school as well. So really this is driven a lot by healthcare. And when you drive by that deal, you'll see a full parking lot at that hospital. It is very busy. It is a huge driver. The hospital actually directly leases some of the units from the owner, and they get a lot of people that are there, nurses, doctors, other healthcare people that come in from out of area, out of market to work at this hospital or go to school. And that is one of the big drivers for this deal in particular, since it's so well located next to the healthcare.
All right, so here's an aerial that I wanted to just pull up of sort of downtown Tyler, but then also sort of where this property sits in relation to the two hospitals right there next to it. So great looking property. I mean, I guess tell us a little bit about the development and sort of, this property is very different than a lot of the properties that we see. So tell me about the sort of development of this deal.
Yeah, so it was built by the developer in 3 phases in 2015 through 2018. It's all single story, brick, hardy board siding. Obviously, everything on it's new. So nothing you have to worry about in terms of a capex. You know the age of every component of the systems based on the year it was built, and that ranges from 2015 to 2018. As you drive up to it, it has a keypad gate, very quiet, secluded area, heavily surrounded by forests and trees, and you have some amenity space for residents as well. But very well located next to the hospital, and very quiet place for residents to live. One thing that's a little different from traditional apartment deals is all these units are fully furnished with beds, furniture, everything you would need as a resident who's coming in, say a traveling nurse, and you want to be able to stay somewhere that's safe, that's nicely appointed. There are 2 laundry rooms on site that the residents use. Currently not billing back for that separately. It's all included in that rent. And you'll see here that on the utility side that everything is master metered. So in your rent, everything else is included. Currently, the owner's not rubbing anything back. It's all included in the rent as all bills paid property currently.
Okay, so let's go through some of these property details. So it's pretty, the last 5-6 years it's been built, 36 units. It's only 11 units per acre, so pretty low density, single story, which is pretty unique, I would say, for this type of product. And then, individual HVACs, water heaters. So you have a pretty new property, and the rents, it's all bills paid the way that they're running it now. And anything else on the property detail tab that we wanted to cover?
I think it's a good. We did some nice virtual tours, which James will send a link out to, as well as on our website. Since it's 100% occupied, it's a little harder to tour right now. We're setting tour dates, but if you go to those links, you can see some real nice videos that show and highlight the amenities inside, such as the granite countertops, the higher ceilings, the trim. It's very well developed. The seller bought it straight from the developer as well. So it's just the first owner and only owner of this asset so far. It's very well maintained.
All right, let's talk about the rents and the unit mix on the property. So give people a little bit of the flavor of sort of where rents are now and where you think you can take them.
So that's one of the big opportunities for a new buyer coming in is, based on where current in-place rents versus where the new leases are being signed at, there's about a $90 a month delta. So as he's turning new people over, those rents are going to be going up about $90 on average. He's running this thing 100% occupied, pretty consistently with a wait list, and so that's a good sign that it's time to really start moving up rents. Because he has shorter term leases, he's also increasing the amount of months he requires on new leases as well, which then reduces your turn costs between residents as well. So good opportunity for the new owner to come in and kind of piggyback on this business plan, take advantage of ability to raise rents. Like I said, about $90 a month for the new leases coming in, and we'll get it, and we'll show that. We'll be even higher when we show the get a June rent roll. All this data here is based on early May.
Okay. So we'll jump over to the pro forma on the deal, and this talk about sort of where you think the upside is in terms of where it's currently being run and sort of how the cash flow looks on a T12 or T3 basis.
Yeah, so I think due to the way the accounting is done, there's some variation month to month. So it's better to look at the financials on like a T6 or a T12. And when you do that, you see it runs pretty smoothly. Like I said, it's pretty much fully occupied. So we do see an opportunity to, I would say, increase your NOI based on those new leases that are coming in. It is run pretty efficiently on the expense side. He does a good job with using a contract maintenance as well as a housekeeper. And I think a new owner would continue to lean on those relationships that he's developed. Obviously, we're showing an increase on the tax side. With the purchase, although this county is not as aggressive historically in bumping up taxes on new owners, it is still assessed below his purchase price from 3 years ago as well.
All right. And then so on this NOI, you're at what, a 5.5, 6 cap on the deal?
Yeah. So if you look at the T12 NOI and you look at kind of our pro forma year one underwriting, which is pretty similar, this is about a 6 cap. So obviously James didn't go into the debt here in a few, but that's a nice spread between in-place cap rate and the kind of debt you can get on it. And that spread will, I think, help the new owner be very, very profitable and successful in continuing operating this asset.
All right, so let's flip over. So, there are some unique aspects to this deal. One of them being just around all the units are furnished. They're shorter term leases, it's all bills paid. And so, Fannie and Freddie are, more of a longer term lender on non-furnished units. And so for this specific deal, it's probably going to be more of a recourse or non-recourse bridge. On the recourse bridge, we've talked to multiple banks and they are very familiar with the asset, and they were very comfortable because of the age of the property, because of how well occupied it is. They were at 75%, on a 5-year, 25-year AM, 1-year interest only, with anywhere from a 4 to 4.25% rate, and on a step down prepay. So that's at 75%. If you wanted to go up to 80%, they were a little bit higher on pricing and a little bit quicker amortization schedule, so 20-year AM. And then there are some non-recourse bridge lenders out there for secondary markets, but this is a little bit smaller deal, so typically under $5 million. The non-recourse bridge lenders are not as aggressive, so your starting rate's going to be a little bit higher if you did want to stay non-recourse. But on this particular deal, I think a recourse bank loan will give you sort of that flexibility to come in, close on the deal, and then also have a step down prepayment, so that when you're ready to refi or sell the property, you don't have a big prepayment penalty and not a lot of legal costs and interest rate caps and things like that a non-recourse bridge would have. So I'll turn it back over to you, Paul, in terms of somebody's interested in this property, what is the best way for them to reach out to you and set up a tour? And is there a call for offers date? I guess before we do that, touch on the whisper price here on this slide.
Yeah, so whisper pricing is 5.3 million, which should align with James' financing options here. And again, that's a 6 cap on in place, and we feel like a new owner can pretty much step in and follow the business plan and replicate uh, or demonstrate they can perform within line with our NOI and historical NOI at the property.
All right, so we'll jump back to the slide. So in terms of tours, call for offers date, I know it's been difficult to get in for tours just because it's been 100% occupied for a while now.
Yeah, so in talking with the seller, because it's 100% occupied and because he doesn't want to be too disruptive to his residents, he's going to have a turn for a unit on June 30th. And so we're trying to consolidate tours for that day right now. Because we knew we couldn't tour it as much, we shot some good virtual tours, which are available when James sends this out, as well as available through our website at multifamilygrp.com, where you can click on a few virtual tours we set up, one for each unit type, the 1 and 2 bedroom, and then give you a good overview of what those units look like when you are inside them, because we're a little more limited on the tours. We're setting a call for offers date right now for July 9th. The seller would consider a preemptive LOI. So don't have to hold back like you do on a lot of deals here where there's going to be 20 offers and no one's going to look at them until the call for offers date. Get with your TMG broker you're working with. If you want to submit an LOI in early, the seller will look at them prior to the call for offer date.
All right, Paul, appreciate you coming on to give us some insight into this deal, and we'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. Thanks, James.
All right, thanks.